thanks for being here, man.
Of
Thanks
course.
for coming.
I
really
appreciate you
appreciate
having
it.
me, bro.
Yeah,
Honestly.
you get 1 day off a week, and you're spending coming.
There's no better
with us.
place that I would rather spend it, honestly.
Appreciate it,
Yeah,
man. Appreciate it.
honestly.
So, you're from Calgary originally?
Yeah, I was born and raised in
Born and
Calgary.
raised. Like
Yeah.
amazing. Our two people today is all born
Really?
and raised from Calgary. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Damien, I didn't know Damien.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, even tomorrow, my wife's from here, but she moved. She was away for 10 years.
Yeah.
Where we met in Ottawa, and
Yeah.
coming back here.
That's
But
pretty cool. I like it here.
yeah,
Honestly, I don't know why so many people knock on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite city I've ever lived in.
Yeah.
I'm never going back to Ontario. I fucking love this town. It's
It
the
gets
best.
like world's best place to live in. It's like always top 10 for the last couple of years.
It was number 1 like
Yeah.
2 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
and
that's what I mean.
I was excited
Yeah.
at first, and then like the housing.
I moved here and it's dropped down.
Well,
Well, that's everybody comes for the. They come and they're like, well, this place is hyped up. I thought there was all this hype, but it's like, what are you hyping up? There's like 3 places to go out at night.
Yeah.
It's not
That's what I
about.
love, though. I'm like,
Yeah,
there's
it's
only
just.
3 places.
That's it, like-
Yeah, but in terms of just like living here and then actually enjoying the quality of life, like you can't really complain. You have everything that you need, and it's a beautiful
Everything.
city. It's clean, infrastructure is good. You can get from one side to the other. People are nice, multi-diverse place. I don't know.
There's way
Yeah.
more art and culture here than I was
Yeah.
expecting. There's like good bands come.
We got like the
this
Rockies just a couple minutes away.
hour and a
Everybody
half away.
flies
Then
here.
you're. Oh my
Yeah.
god! I know. No,
They
it's
fly here just for that. So
it's ridiculous.
But
It
no, I
is
like
really funny though, and even comedian Trevor Noah. I saw Trevor Noah do
Yeah.
a bit here, and
Yeah.
he did 20 minutes about how it's the only city he's ever been to that the first thing you get to Calgary and the first thing you do is go to Banff.
You go to another city.
The first thing you do is go to another place. But still,
if they had an airport there, it'd be
Oh,
no
yeah.
need for Calgary. Yeah.
Well, no, fuck
Straight up.
that. That's never gonna happen.
True.
So from here, would you go to school? Like, what's
I went to like high school at Robert Thirsk in Crowfoot. It's like a relatively new one.
Okay.
And then I went to Mount Royal University. But
you studied business, right?
no, fuck no.
So
I studied
Oh, no,
archaeology,
Archaeology?
and anthropology. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
so much more.
It's very different than what I'm doing now, but I saw the career path at the end and I didn't want to do that for the career. I liked the content of what I was learning and I thought it was interesting, and that's what kept me going in it. But then when I met people that were like working as culture resource managers, I was like, it's not worth the money.
Right.
So, I don't want to study dirt for a living.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Anthropology may be the most interesting.
It's
topic.
super. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's intertwined in everything that it goes on, everything that exists, everything that ever will be or ever has been.
And
You
do you
know what I
find that at least even though you didn't follow, didn't go down that career path, do you find that it still kind of influenced how you see the world?
1,000%.
Yeah.
100%. Like the evolutionary aspect of it alone is kind of what I'm utilizing in my studies right now with learning to become like a thermalist instructor, and how just we like grew through evolutionary change and different environmental adaptations and different environmental stressors that made us do different things that influenced how we created the next set of human beings. And
Well
I don't know,
said.
but nowadays it's all man-made stress that everybody deals with. So going back to an environmental stress can help bring us back to our like environmental roots.
Well, and we forget that this is such a weird world. Like we
Yeah.
haven't been in a world like this for any length of time, and you look back even
Yeah.
a little bit and go, "Oh shit!" Like, yeah, we're not built
Oh
for this.
no,
We're
not
built...
at all. Yeah, it's exponentially getting harder for people to. You can't evolve anymore as human beings because now everything is catered to us. When we used to have to cater to the thing, but now it's just a world of convenience where everything is like handed to you. You don't have to go and survive. You don't need to worry about like how you're gonna eat or not most. I'm just saying in where we live now.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I know every place.
First world.
First world. Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
yeah. But just overall, it's interesting to see because it's exponentially getting like worse and worse and worse. Like I think my generation was kind of like some of the last ones where internet was kind of started to boom as we were kind of old enough to start using it, and then the kids that have no recollection of life before internet, it's insane. They can use iPads better than some of us can use them, and that's just not how we're designed to evolve as organic people. You know what I mean?
Well said.
Yeah.
Williamson has a line that he keeps saying that because we're in an information shortage before, right? Like before, we always wanted more information. We wanted to know more about the weather and our environment and whatnot. And he says that for like maybe like 12 hours in like 2009 or 10 or something like that. We had just the right amount of information.
That's
and
a
then
good
we,
year, yeah.
And then we just blew past that, and now we just have way too much information. And now it's not information gathering; it's information sorting or filtering that we have to do.
But some people can take that and use it to their advantage, which is good. And then other people have overwhelming sense of like, there's too many things for me to even try to like understand all of them. So they just
shut down a little.
They're just kind of going with the flow of the river, and I don't know.
Can you really blame them? I mean, it's
not at all.
Kind of insane.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But
what is a thermalist instructor?
Thermalist instructor is a certification created by Dr. Susanna Soberg. She was on a lot of podcasts recently just for her work on cold exposure therapy. She studied she coined the 11 minutes a week protocol.
Oh, is that where that comes from? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So she was the one that created that wide-known study, just culminating other research, and she made it pretty evident that there wasn't a lot of solid evidence for just cold exposure. It's just kind of this little case studies here and there, and there wasn't like a wide overview of the whole thing. So she kind of based her whole PhD around that. And
is it a meta study? Like, did she just study of studies, or was she running her own study?
So this is like based off her own thing. Like,
okay.
She has like her own program that she does. Part of the certification now is asking people to go to like Switzerland and do like a 3-day thing, and I'm unable to do that part of it, so I'm just doing the online portion until I am able to go and do the full in-person thing. But it's just a good way to have like science-backed answers to people's questions, because you're doing a lot of it's a very high stress thing that you're putting yourself under when you go into cold water, and there's a lot of things that can happen, and there's a lot of misinformation out there, especially now because it's getting popularized like more and more and more. People are just quick to dismiss it, and then some people are quick to say like, oh, this is the be all end all, this is the greatest thing, it's the band-aid solution for every problem. But I like studying under her because she finds the fine line in between the two, where you can just take a little bit from both sides, because it does have overarching benefits on almost a lot of different qualities of life, but it's also not
a miracle cure.
Yeah, it's just sitting in fucking cold water at the end of the day. It's not rocket science. It's pretty straightforward, so you can't overcomplicate it.
We should say, so Adam owns the first
regulated and licensed cold therapy facility in Alberta.
Alberta,
based off the tubs that we use. Yeah, thank you, bro. It was the making of the standalone basins that created us to be the first. Like, I didn't think that we were going to be the first when I had the idea. I thought there's places that already do it, spas and whatnot, but I guess they just didn't involve the government as much as I did, and I applied for my business license under that premise, and then they were like, we've never seen this specific application before. We don't know what to do with you.
And we're gonna get back. We can't bury the.
I don't want to open that can.
We're gonna open all of those cans of worms, because like that is.
It's a long journey though.
What a journey you're fucking
just to sit in cold fucking water.
Fuck
yeah, it's crazy.
This is gonna be the truth. So let's just go back again a little bit. So you come out with an anthropology degree. You end up doing. You're working in.
My most recent job, nothing to even do with what I was doing in school. I was working in HR.
That's right.
Yeah, so I was doing a lot of hiring and firing for different companies. It was kind of like a third-party company that was contracted by mostly oil and gas companies to just do their HR work. So a lot of interviews of random people on Zoom. I got to realize how many people just bullshit their way through life, and it was a good experience because I gained a lot of really good skills. Like, having somewhat of an HR background, you can use that in your own business when you're kind of learning how to hire your own people.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, everybody wants a job, and most people are willing to just say and do kind of anything to get that job. And when you're dealing with big oil and gas companies, it's a lot more like evident. But then you can kind of just use that to help with dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, I guess. Yeah.
So you figured out that you pretty early, because you're only 22, correct?
25.
Turning
26 next month.
Okay.
Yeah. With 22 would be crazy. I got too many gray hairs for 22.
Well, you got some of them from business, I'm sure. But so you figure out like, hey, this isn't gonna go. Your family has run a business for a while, right?
Yeah, I grew up in an entrepreneurial household, I guess.
Tell me a little bit about that, please.
My parents came here from Lebanon both of them, and my dad started cutting hair there, and then came here just for more opportunity, and worked under a couple different people, and then he ended up opening his own salon and spa, I believe, 20, almost as old as I am. I think it's at like 26 years or 29 or something.
And your parents met there, or did they meet here?
They met there, but then they kind of re-met here, if that makes sense. Like they both didn't come here together.
Oh, they didn't come together.
No,
they knew
their
each other
families
there.
Came
oh
here.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so there were acquaintances there, like families. It's all kind of grew up in like a small village there, and the Met is called. So everybody knows everybody there. There's only like a couple thousand people, and your families know each other. But then they both came here. I think my mom was, I don't even know, 14. I can't remember. This information is not accurate. If my parents are gonna watch this, they're gonna be like, "Our salon is not 26 years, this years old, and we came here. This is so."
We can fact check.
My memory is not the greatest.
We can make comments in the show notes.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, but they came here when they were very young. They met here, and they started the business essentially together.
Oh, cool.
So I think they met each other like officially when he was here, and she was getting her hair done by him.
Oh wow! She cut her hair.
Yeah, and then I think he like asked her something along the lines of like, "Do you want to come with me and like start this thing with me and work together?" And also kind of like maybe propose at the same time, like while he was washing her hair. Details are fuzzy.
Wait. He went from not meeting, sort of knowing her,
quick,
not sort of knowing her, to cutting her hair, to proposal in like 45 minutes.
Again, don't fact check me on that. But something along those lines. I've
met your mom, so I mean, I might have to fact check you on this.
Bits and pieces are definitely accurate, 100%.
Okay, wow.
They met here officially, and she's the kind of backbone, I guess, of the whole establishment, because he does all of the work, but he couldn't do all of the back end stuff without her, so they both need each other.
So he was running more, like he was cutting the hair and running.
He was kind of trying to do everything, I guess, by himself, and then she came in at the perfect time
and helps with like the accounting, like the books and that kind of stuff. Was that her strength?
And I think she initially wanted to probably take a nail course. Like I think she was more so interested in like offering another service, with him to like help out, and then it just turned into the back end side of things of just like the ownership mumbo jumbo.
They turn that into what? Because they have a spa now.
Yeah, it's a salon and spa called Edges Salon and Spa. It's in Crowfoot. Shout out Edges. I grew up there, so I got to see kind of just how it was for them to run their own business, have no set schedule, have a lot more responsibilities, have a lot more commitment to other people, and just working with a team instead of just having parents that come home at the end of the day every day at the same time. It's always kind of unpredictable. So created a lot of good independence for myself and a lot of good sense of responsibility.
Because you have one sister, is that correct?
I have two older sisters.
Two older sisters, sorry.
Yeah, two older sisters. Yeah, they're in their 30s, married with kids. So.
And are they entrepreneurs as well? Or?
They work at my parents.
Oh, they work
with my parents. With my one sister has Jessica. She has her own marketing company, so she was the one that helped me start Reset.
So, I've met her as well. Yes,
she's integral part of everything. I couldn't have done anything without her help. And now that she's gained her experience at Edges, she started her own marketing company, and now she has multiple other companies that she works with that company. So she's definitely taken after their entrepreneurial spirit as well. And so as my other sister, she has kind of like a clothing business as well. So we're all kind of interested in doing our own thing, but both of them still actively work at Edges with my parents. So I just didn't want to put all the eggs in one, all 5 family members in one place.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so what do you think the pros and cons have been about that in terms of having this kind of slightly unorthodox kind of family structure?
I think the pros are definitely it sets you up with the mindset, because it's a trying thing to start your own thing. It's very taxing, and not everybody, I think, can get through the last little bit. The initial idea and the euphoria of like the honeymoon phase feels like, oh, this is awesome. Like I want to do this. It seems very doable. It might be a little bit challenging, but I'm going to put my mind to it. And it's continuing to have that mindset throughout the whole process is the hard part. Because you can have it, you can start it, shit can go wrong, you can keep yourself up, you can keep trying, you can keep getting shot down, you can keep trying and keep getting shot down. And then that's when people are like, well, it's probably not worth it.
It wasn't that good of an idea to start with, right?
Maybe someone else is gonna just start this, or I don't know. Maybe I'll try it a different way at a different time. Very easy to get discouraged. So seeing them try to go through their business struggles with their ups and downs in their own business made it very easy for me to know that like there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always ups and there's always downs, and you can't have one without the other. So that's a good pro that I learned from growing up with them for sure.
A little space is like you look at it from a bit more.
Yeah, I'm able to like take a step back.
Step back. That's what I mean.
Take a step back and analyze things from just like a higher perspective instead of getting caught up in like the bullshit. A lot of bullshit. Yeah.
A lot of bullshit. So maybe cons?
The cons, I guess, I don't know, not having structure.
A little less structure.
When you're a little bit younger. A lot of unpredictability from them. But it is, you see now when you get to be older, that it actually might have turned into like a pro, because it does give you a lot of the responsibility at a younger age to just kind of be okay with, okay, I'm gonna be we're gonna be home at like 9 tonight. And I'm like, okay, it's like not that big of a deal. But I thought it was just like a normal thing for me because I didn't know any different, right? So,
completely fair.
Yeah, definitely wasn't anything where I'm like, oh, they're leaving me alone. Like I'm home alone. Like I was having a good time. I was enjoying my life. Yeah, making cereal. 6 p.m. They couldn't stop me.
Pros.
Yeah, pros all around. Yeah.
All right, so I mean, we can get into more of the meat of it because when I moved in, and you were still in the process of getting everything up.
What was the month you moved in again?
I started July.
Okay. So I think I got my equipment in November.
Yeah.
I signed my lease in February. So I signed my lease in February, told the landlord, like, hey, give me a couple months to do construction, get my equipment in, and then I'll, then we can start the full term.
And it is now, this is February 2024.
Yes. February 2024. I thought I was going to be open by like June or July initially, but it turned into February 2025. We got to be open. Yeah.
Next week, this coming Saturday is the grand opening.
The grand opening this coming Saturday, but
so huge
didn't think it'd be like 365 days from then till now.
No, so that's what we're going to talk about again. And mindset is going to come back a bunch of times because I mean, so first, how'd you get the idea? Like, what prompted this whole thing?
Doing it myself at home, and realizing there wasn't a place for everybody to go and do it.
So how did you get into doing it? Like,
it was kind of in the middle of COVID. Everybody was just like, I was working from home and I was like stuck at home. I couldn't really I don't know. I wasn't upset about the whole pandemic aspect where people were like complaining, I can't go out, I can't travel. Nothing really changed in my life in terms of like big changes, but I could see and feel the changes of people's like mindset around me. Everybody was just like going like this, and I was also kind of somewhat going like this too without even realizing it, because I was just stuck being complacent with the fact that I was like, oh, I have everything that I need at home. Like, why do I need to go out? But then you realize human interaction is beneficial for your mental health. Going and seeing sunlight is beneficial. Like all these little things that people are like, well, it's a pandemic, there's a killer disease outside, we can't go outside. I'm fine with it. And then they don't realize the implications that lockdown has on your mental health. When you try to go back into the world, people are now just harder
to feeling it.
That's what I'm saying. It's so evident, and then not many people link it to that.
Yeah.
They just think like, oh, it's just the world's getting worse and the world's getting worse. It's like, well, when did the world really start to get really fucking bad? Is when they locked us all at home. Yeah, they were like, don't fucking leave your house.
Yeah.
So bought a little Rubbermaid container, put it in my backyard in January, or December, sorry. So middle of the winter, filled it up with water, sorry. The next day it was all ice. Went into my backyard with a ski mask on and my underwear, and I was like, I'm just going to fucking sit in this water. I've heard that it makes you feel good. And then I did it, and I was like, I feel really good.
All
right.
And
didn't really look into the science or anything. I was doing it because I wanted to do it and because it made me feel good. And was noticeably just...
And there was no because I've always like, for me, cold therapy is I've always associated with sports. So it wasn't like there wasn't an injury. It wasn't like you
nothing
were
like that. It was literally strictly for my mood.
Okay.
Strictly for my mood, yeah, because I was just very monotonous in the day to day, and everything was just getting very like
grindy.
Yeah, just gray and like uninteresting, and for lack of a better word, depressing. Like
Sure.
everything was just kind of dulling out, and this was a good way to just like throw a curveball into your routine. Like, no, you're not just gonna wake up and have coffee and then get dressed and start work. You're gonna wake up, go outside in -30, and sit in some water, and then go about your day. But I didn't realize like the science that was going on when I was doing that. I just was aware of like the dopamine release and the inflammation, but that was kind of the main thing that I was aware about at the time.
And you were doing this every day?
I was doing it every single day.
Okay.
Now that I realize that that's not not as beneficial, but I was doing it every single day, and I was just going for like longer minutes every single time. I just kind of kept challenging myself.
Yeah.
And, I got up to like 20 plus minutes at one point. Sometimes the sun would come out, so it'd be like wintertime, but the sun would be out. So I'm sitting there and just kind of like getting sunlight on my face, hearing the birds. It was a very relaxing.
So proud of you.
It was it was a very therapeutic experience. And at one point, I just got tired of like sitting in dirty water. I got tired of going outside. All these little like inconveniences kept happening.
I mean, it's hard enough to do as it is.
Yeah,
let's
and then
try to make it a little easier.
Things made it harder. I was going through tubs because they kept cracking in the wintertime, and the inflatable ones kept popping and like freezing. I had like building like a mini igloo outside because of all the ice blocks that I had to take out. And then your hose is frozen in the side of your house, so you can't refill with your hose.
That's right.
So I'm running buckets from outside, and I'm doing all of this, and then I'm like looking, and I'm like, I want to open a place where people can just do this. And my parents were like, "That's a great idea. Super supportive of you. It's
outstanding
really on
their part. That's
and
so
I just
cool.
kind of like, it was like a epiphany moment.
Yeah. Have you ever read the E-Myth? A book called The E-Myth?
I haven't.
I'm gonna lend you a copy if you want. It's one of these books from like the 70s.
Yeah.
It's all about just entrepreneurship and stuff, and he talks about the entrepreneurial seizure that most of us have. And I know exactly where I was and exactly
I could remember the day.
Exactly.
And you're just like, oh my god, is this a good idea, or am I just like stupid? Like, yeah.
So you like, what about yours? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, was there a moment where you're just like, nope, I'm fucking done?
It was like when my wife would come to visit me in London.
Yeah.
And saw me trying to close the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a deal that wasn't for her. And
yeah.
I was stressed out. And she was just like, why are you doing it? I was like, well, because this is how I make money. And she already knew I'd had like a passion for videos.
Yeah.
Deep dream of like directing movies and things like that, and films, and making something interesting. She was like, why don't you do that? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, why would I do that? And then she was just like, you can just do that.
Yeah.
You can just do it. You could buy a camera. And then that was obviously living in London. When you move to Canada, do that. And that's I was like, yeah, I can just do that. And then all of a sudden that then starts snowballing ideas. But yeah, I still remember like where I was sat on I was at my mum's house.
That's so cool, man.
Just like, yeah, you're right. And then that was it.
It's awesome.
I was in downtown Calgary. I was at the time. This was like 4 Christmases ago. I was working during the day at delivering wine for a wine store, and then I was working doubles. I was working at the restaurant at night, so I was doing doubles. I'd been on like 20 days straight. This is all December. It's just, and I'm there, and I'm trying to get this wine into these big apartment buildings and the thing, and box almost comes off the side, and I just like stop, and I'm just like look up, and like, what the fuck am I doing? Like literally in the middle of the sidewalk, I just stop and just like, I'm busting my ass, I'm killing this house, I'm making money for other people. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
and that was kind of the.
It's an epiphany moment for sure.
For sure,
it's a realization, and it makes it go from this like thing that's just in your head, and you're like, I could just take this first step and see what happens after that. And the worst thing that you can do is not take the first step. Because then you're just stuck in one place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So well said. So what was that next step? So okay, I want to do this. Like mom and dad are behind me. What are we doing?
I guess looking back on it now, I might have bitten off a little bit more than I could chew, and I kind of just went like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it as best as I can and as big as I can, and I don't want to. I don't want to cut any corners, and I don't want to just limit myself. I want this to be experienced by as many people as possible because it helped me so much. And people like my friends started coming over and like sitting in that little bin because I was like posting it on my story. They're like, well, let me come see like what this is all about. Like, oh, you said you did whatever 7 minutes today. Like, I could come do the 7 minutes. I was like, sure. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm happy to.
I cannot do 7 minutes.
It doesn't even the time. Now that I'm educated, I know time does not equal better. It's been proven. But I was just doing it because I just wanted to do it, and then that aspect of like the competitive mindset from other people, they wanted to come. Well, if you can do it, I can do it too. And I was like, well, sure. All that matters is that we're doing it together. So. I told them about the idea. I told my sister. She was the first kind of person that I told because she was starting to slowly expand her marketing thing. She was still very much at the salon at the time, and she was like looking into branching off into that marketing field where she kind of had her own epiphany where like, if I can do this for them, like I can do this for everybody.
Yeah.
So I came to her and I was like, do you want to do this for this? Like we can do this together. And she was like all for it. She was on board right away.
Is she a partner in your business?
Yeah, 100%.
So cool,
yeah.
man.
She's literally the core reason that I was able to even do this because I still live at home. So I don't have any assets to show the bank. Like, give me this loan. So I was literally not able to do any of this without her support. And the fact that she has the experience marketing for my parents' salon and spa, I thought was going to be super applicable because this is going to be like some type of like a wellness center.
Same industry, people. Right?
Yeah, some similar, I guess.
Similar.
Yeah, well, now I guess I'm in the pools industry, so I guess not anymore.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, like she was super unconditionally supportive of this, and I just drafted the plan, and I said, this is the equipment that I wanted, and this is how much it costs, this is how many people I would need, and I kind of just started to figure it all out on my own with like little actual business experience myself, and the fact that my parents started their business kind of when, not to downplay it, but like kind of when it was easy to start anything, they went to the bank and they said, we would like this much for this purpose, and the bank was like, okay. They didn't look at one plan, one forecast, one anything. They just said, we want this much money, this is what we're gonna do with it.
And they're just like, yep.
Yeah. And then I was like, I want this much money, this is what I'm gonna do with it. And they were like, nah. No, we don't want to be invested in this. And the bank was
post-COVID, man.
Oh, post-COVID. Before COVID, like things were popping up everywhere. Like weed got legalized, and then within I don't even know how many months, Alberta had the most dispensaries
in the world.
Literally, like it was insane
per capita.
Yeah.
Still, I think.
Yeah, I helped open one of the first ones in the city. So we were the third one in the city in downtown, and I helped her. Well, I was like brought on kind of in the early stages of that one. So
very cool.
I kind of got grandfathered into that industry. That was before I started working downtown in HR, and it was really cool because we were like the third one in the city. So like every morning before there's opening, like there's a line of people outside, and like the products were shit, and people were like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing in the world," and it was just like dog shit. And then now it's like there's a dispensary in every single community, and everything is so like, everything is just ramped up like crazy. Nobody cares about the medicinal aspect of it anymore. They all just want like the highest possible content of THC.
You can't get anything like under 20%.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
But when it got legalized, though, there was like 20% of the stock was above 20%.
That's right.
And now, and before it was like they came out with CBD and they came out with all these different things, and I was loving it. I was like, this is why I wanted it to be legalized. Like, this is the stuff that I was recommending to people that were coming to the store because they came to me and they're like, well, I'm struggling with this and this and this.
Because you're not a big smoker, right? You don't...
Well, I was. Okay. Definitely was. And
sorry, Mom.
I don't know. You gotta know the product to be able to. I can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna get a drink from a bartender that doesn't drink.
Quality control is important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. But it was really cool to have like that neighborhood legal drug dealer feel where people were like started to come and just trust your recommendations. They didn't even ask you anything. You would just you would see them. You'd know exactly what they want.
I got you.
The older crowd, like I'd have like literal seniors that were like, I've never done this before, and I'm like, this is what you're gonna enjoy instead of your glass of wine at night. And then they were just like, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping better, my joints feel better, and I'm like, this is why. Like the helping people aspect was super rewarding for me.
Very cool.
So I've always kind of been in that field of like wanting to make other people's lives better with the tools that we have available to us instead of like all these crazy buy my $1,000 course and I'll make your life better. It's
Oh
like,
god,
no,
yeah,
like there's
yeah,
ways
yeah,
you can
yeah.
make your life better with just small little changes, like waking up and going and sitting in a cold bath. Like it costs you literally just a couple minutes and a couple dollars of equipment, and it's transformative. So
Well, we'll get back to the whole journey
yeah,
through everything, but let's stick there for a bit. What are the health benefits? Like what is the? I
for
know there's
cold
a lot more
exposure,
research now. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Huberman is all about his light exposure and cold
excuse
therapy.
me,
But
yeah.
are you familiar with Huberman's? Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
okay, I
Yeah.
figured, but
To keep it like simple, I guess the
please.
benefits are longevity. That's the main thing. Being able to do the things that you want to do longer and like live a longer life and have less chance of catching communicable diseases, catching internal heart condition
So
problem.
strengthen the immune system a little bit.
Yeah, the immune system is a big one, but it's so good for your cardiovascular health, and heart disease is like one of the, if
It's the
not
biggest killer.
the
It's
most,
it's the
yeah.
biggest. Yeah, yeah.
So, and
Well,
even
cardio
that
and
alone,
cancer. Yeah.
everything to do with disease in general, I'd say 90% or more is rooted in inflammation,
Yes.
whether it's like your internal organs are inflamed or there's like,
Ligament, the tendons,
yeah,
or
like
the
anything, you could have an injury, it's inflammation. You could
yeah,
have a sickness, some
yeah.
type of inflammation when you get a cold. Like there's
Things get,
just,
yeah. All you
yeah,
could just
like
all this is inflamed.
yeah,
Yeah.
inflammation is just the killer of the body. And
Yep.
I was really big into like Dr. Sebi. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
Sebi.
Sebi,
Sebi.
Sebi.
Okay.
This video might get doxxed if I mention him too much. They like killed him straight up, and he was telling people how you can heal yourself with the power of food. And
Yeah.
he's like, this causes inflammation in the body. Mucus is a big one of how you just get sick if you have like a lot of mucus in your lungs. You're gonna trap a lot of pathogens and stuff, and it's gonna just always make you sick. So he was all about cleansing the body of mucus, ridding the body of inflammation. This was all stuff that I was like aware of back in like high school, and like me and my friends when we were like buying sea moss and doing all these things that like not everybody was really doing in high school. It
Interesting.
was
No,
just like a
that's
weird group
that's
of
unusual.
people. Yeah, so I'm really grateful that I like learned about all of that things, those things, because the big one of cold exposure is anti-inflammatory. It's like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
putting your whole body in the freezer, and just makes you last longer. Just like put steak in the freezer. It's like the same concept, but
Well, because
uh,
the first time I ever heard any benefits, I was hearing that football players
yeah,
were doing regular ice baths after training, was
yeah.
adding something up to 2 years onto their career.
Yeah, and
I was,
even just like the sauna exposure, like sauna studies have been around for so long,
of course.
but just like almost, I don't know, weekly sauna usage, like getting close to like 50 an hour, you lower your risk of dying from anything by like 50%, like all cause mortality, like that alone, and
Jesus.
those studies have been around. That's why every gym has a sauna, and these things have been
Yeah.
around for so long.
Yeah.
But now the cold exposure thing, where people are like, I'm so tough because I can sit in, like, sauna's relaxing, cold exposure in the moment for most people not that relaxing.
I
But
honestly find it pretty relaxing.
I find it
I find it more
relaxing
relaxing
too.
than
Yeah,
the heat sometimes.
yeah,
I was at the spa I told you
yeah,
about, and there's a hot cold right next to each
yeah,
other, and I spent more time in the cold than I
yeah.
did in the
That's
hot.
awesome. Yeah. So those are the main things. Anti-inflammatory, big one. The release of endorphins that you get. That's kind of where the biohacking aspect comes into it. Doing something difficult that you don't want to do, consciously making that decision, that grows certain parts of your brain. There's so many different things. Like there's been people that have reversed their type 2 diabetes because your insulin sensitivity spikes up so much when you're exposed to the cold, because your body is actively trying to burn calories to try to stay warm.
Yeah.
So it's scouring your body for like all this white fat.
Fascinating. Yeah.
So the brown fat activation, that's like the Susanna Soberg now. What I want people to be focused about is like having brown fat, like mostly located like here around your liver, around your heart. It warms your blood up before it goes to your major organs to keep you alive in those cold environments, and it also helps burn calories to stay warm. But when you're a baby, when they're newborns, they're covered, their whole body has brown fat. As you grow up, and then after puberty, brown fat goes to like 0. And the most effective way, it's not the only way, but like by far the most effective way to activate that in your body is to expose yourself to the cold to some degree. Like even if you're going outside in the cold air, it still has something to do with it. But obviously the cold water immersion is like the most fast acting effective way.
That's something I actually wanted to watch, like,
Yeah.
the difference between here, like
Yeah.
going out in say a -30,
Yeah.
like, and say the cold one. So
Yeah.
what is, I guess, because the water is unlikely.
Well, anything below 0, ice, can't go in it. But the main thing I tell people that tell me like, well, I just take cold showers every morning, or I turn my shower 30 seconds cold at the end of my shower. Somebody explained it to me this way, and then I've been using it ever since. It's like explaining the benefits of walking to a runner. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, well, I'm like a marathon runner, and I do all these runs, and you're like, well, I go for a walk every day. It's like they're both like walking is really good for your health. Don't get me wrong. Like if you go out and just walk, like that alone is a form of exercise. It's healthy. Most people have sedentary lifestyles. They could benefit from a walk every day. I'm not trying to hate on going for a walk.
Of course not.
But the ones that I'm now in this business, and people are like, well, I just take a cold shower, and it's like, I'm a runner, and you're telling me how to walk. Like it doesn't help me, and it's not going to help you as much as if you were to start. I'm amping up your training, and like running is really good for your heart. Yeah. So is cold exposure. It's really good for your heart.
Well, like water has a higher heat retention, right? So you're even if you step into 5-degree water and 5-degree air, 5-degree water is going to feel it's going to take way more heat out of you.
Yeah, and all of your blood vessels on your extremities will constrict, and all the blood flow will get redirected to the core of your body to keep you alive because it thinks you're dying. So that practice alone, and then you get out of the water, and then that's where people are like, oh, I can feel all my blood flow, and they're just like, I feel strange, like a warm feeling. But when you go like step out into the cold air, you're just enduring it. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's also like your entire body's exposed.
Yeah,
it's not wrapped around.
Exactly.
Your arms
And you're like breathing it in too, and it's just you're just trying to like get back inside or get to your car or whatever the case is. But definitely a good way to get people acclimated to it. Like part of the thermalist education that I'm learning now is all the different ways that you can acclimate. And people start with cold showers. They start with going outside in the winter, maybe in a t-shirt for a little brisk walk. These are all beneficial things. I'm not trying to say you're doing those things, you might as well, not do full cold exposure. Like they're all under the same umbrella.
Fair, totally fair.
They're all leading up to kind of almost daily cold exposure, 2 to 3 times a week.
But then if we're talking about it, if cold exposure is a thing, and we know that time is the only non-renewable asset, people will come in and crush it out in 3 minutes instead of having to,
That's my favorite part about it, is the time aspect. That's part of the reason where I was like, oh, this would be a great business idea, because nowadays people always complain, I don't have enough time. I'm offering a service that is a 15-minute long full appointment, and most people are in and out under 10 minutes, and you feel it for the rest of the day. You're like, oh, I'm glad that I did it.
It really does impact.
It's the same thing like working out. You feel it for the rest of the day, and you're glad that you did it.
Yeah, exactly. Well said.
But people are like, oh, I don't have time to go work out this many times a day or whatever, and everybody's busy and life happens. But when you can offer a solution to somebody and say like, hey, this has potential to improve various aspects of your life for what is less than 1% of your week. You know what I mean? Less than like a point. I don't even know if I did the calculation. If you had like 11 minutes a week,
is that what it is? That's what the recommendation is 11 minutes a week, correct?
Yeah, based off of her research.
Kind of spread out.
You can do it one. You can do one a week for 11 minutes at one, just all at one time,
or break it up.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's not better or worse to go less or more. It's not like that's the bare minimum, and it's not like that's what you should aim for as your goal. That's just what the study was done on to get the benefits. So
by getting 11 minutes, you're going to get the benefits.
You're going to get the most benefits, the most out of it. Right. But even if you can only do like 3 minutes a week, you're still doing 3 minutes more than people that don't do it at all. Even if you can go work out for 30 minutes one day a week, that's better than a month. Exactly. Yeah, you're taking that conscious step to do it to better yourself. So it's the same concept. It's just way more inconvenient for people. I have to shower, I have to get cold, I got to warm up after. But like the benefits they outweigh the inconveniences, in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's go back to starting all of this, as you say.
Yeah.
Your sister's down. She's into it as well. She sees the potential in what you're doing. How do you find Evolve?
I couldn't have asked for a better place to.
Can we just take a second and just say how amazing Evolve has been?
Shout out Evolve.
This is not if we're not getting paid for this, but I spent almost 4 years trying to find a location, and I just could not be happier with the spot that I found.
Yeah.
But just tell me a little bit.
It's a beautiful community of people, man.
That's it, man. So just tell me a little bit about your experience with that and all of that.
I was looking at a bunch of different places in the surrounding area, and the rent was really expensive. My business plan was a lot more ambitious because of that. I was like, if I'm taking my own building, I'm gonna have massage people there, and I'm gonna have as many complimentary services as I can to make it worth the while for people to make the trip there. If they're gonna drive all the way there for just a 50-minute thing, it's hard to get them. Yeah.
Tougher.
So I was taking more of that spa approach early on, where I was like, you know what, my parents have a spa and a salon. I could use a lot more relevant experience from them and emulate it in my own way, but just make it a little bit more accessible and affordable. Affordability was a big one for me too.
Spas are expensive.
Yeah, exactly. And they just attract the spa type of people that want to just go for a spa to treat themselves and relax and feel good afterwards.
My wife loves them.
Yeah, like everybody should love going to a spa, but not everybody can even afford going to a spa sometimes or have the time to go dedicate 2 or 3 hours for a whole spa day experience.
I don't know. My ADHD kicks in about 20 minutes in, and I don't know. Spas are not always my cup of tea.
Yeah, it would have costed me. One place I was looking at in Beacon Hill was like over 20 grand a month in rent. Yeah, I know.
What kind of space were you talking about?
It was I can't remember the size. I think like maybe 20,000, maybe more.
Okay, so it was decent.
It was decent. I could have had a full spa inside.
Yeah.
But then I'm like charging hundreds of dollars for a membership, so I'm charging like stupid fees for stuff because we have huge overhead costs. And then that's where I was starting to be like, is this the direction that I wanted to go? Just because I was, doing this at home, and then I was like, not really confident. I didn't really pull any triggers, and I just kept kind of humming and hawing, and I was like going back and revisiting the plan and everything. And then my mom came to me and she's like, we have a friend that's a personal trainer that trains at this gym, and you should go meet with him. And I was like, sure. And then I went there, I saw the space and met with the owner, and I was like, this is way better. This is, I can focus in on what I wanted to offer more specifically. I can dial that in, and it's in a space with complimentary services as well. So it's kind of just like what
you were looking for.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then I could really just double down on what I wanted to do in that space and perfect my craft in a way. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
And everybody's complimentary too. Like everybody loves referring other people because it's not like bad to have more health and wellness services in one place. You know what I mean? And people like to take care of themselves. Anybody that's going to the gym is already investing in their health, right?
I've been calling it pre-selected foot traffic.
Yeah.
It's not just people that like it's not just foot traffic. It's people that have already committed to their own health and to a certain degree, and that they can get off the couch to a certain degree.
Exactly. So, yeah. It's like I literally couldn't have asked for a better spot. The traffic, the individual, and Evolve's business model. Evolve's model themselves of like having no mirrors. It attracts a different type of crowd of people that are like don't care about looking at themselves in the mirror.
A lot more women train at that gym than any other gym at that.
Yeah. 100%.
I think they're doing a great job.
They're just there to train, and they're not there to like take pictures and stare at themselves. Like there's good, like you got to look at your form sometimes in the mirror. I get where people are coming from, but mirrors are like surrounding yourself with mirrors in other gym. I didn't realize how big of a thing it was until I started going here and working out there. And I was like, damn, like I don't really need a mirror. Like it's,
and almost every martial arts gym I've ever trained at always has mirrors. I'm just like, I'm going to follow suit, man. Fuck the mirrs.
Yeah. Like what do you want to look at? You just want to look at yourself doing it. You want to look at your form.
There's very few exercises you can see your form.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple. There's definitely
like
a couple
a squat
for sure.
And shit, but like,
100%.
You're like, not looking
Yeah, and once you work out for like long enough, then you can kind of just feel when you have good form, and you have.
Your body tells you.
There's people around. That's another thing too. Having no mirrors, everybody's way more open to communicate with you, and I'm way more likely to go up to somebody that I wouldn't go up to in the commercial gym and say like, "Hey, can you help me with this, or can you show me how to do this better?" Or like, "I saw you doing that, and I want to learn how to do that." When you see somebody that's just like locked in on themselves,
you're like,
I'm not gonna talk to this guy. He's kind of scary.
No, I'm good.
So everybody's kind of like a mirror.
Very, very.
We're all mirrored of ourselves. Get philosophical with it. Yeah.
Love it. Philosophy is one of my favorites. We can get all into that at some point.
Yeah.
But so you find the space. I mean, you're still pretty ambitious. I mean, you didn't just take like a little space in Evolve. If I'm not mistaken, you are the largest. You have the most amount of real estate of any other.
I don't know square footage wise, but I know I'm pretty sure like rent wise, yeah. for sure.
I think
Yeah.
square foot and rent wise.
I think,
because you have more space than we do.
how many? I think. What do you
We're
guys
like
have?
1,200. We're about 1,200.
No, you guys have more. I think I have like under 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
But that's not including like storage rooms.
That's what I'm saying. You got
I
like
have a reception desk at the front, so it doesn't include like. It's not enclosed in 4 walls like the studio spaces are.
yeah.
I have like my room square footage or like 900 and something square feet. But again, like we have
Yeah, you get that.
people use the change rooms. People use there's a lot of shared space. But that's why I'm grateful.
That's just so cool,
Yeah.
man. Like not
Yeah.
having to deal with showers I was gonna have to clean my own
Yeah,
toilets. which I was fine
build
with,
your own
but
bathroom and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it costs a lot of money.
Fuck.
Everything costs money. That's
It's
what I realized
shocking.
about trying to start your own thing. The government does not want you to start anything
Okay,
at all.
So let's
They don't want you to succeed.
So you have found let's get into it now. You found a great space. You had a good
Yeah.
idea. You found a great space. Now you're like, now I just need to get a couple tubs.
Yeah.
Please tell us the story of getting a couple of tubs.
So, long story short, I guess I found a company initially that had really good tubs. They were from Vancouver. So I was like, oh, this is super close. I put a deposit down with them. And then that is when the government came back to me and they said, actually, you're not a wellness spa, you're a swimming pool. And I couldn't even fight it. I said, like, what would make me a wellness center? They said, you'd have to change the water after every person. And I was like, well, that's crazy.
Okay, so
like,
so originally when you applied for the license, you just want to be like
it was like a self
health and wellness.
health and wellness. It was personal service was the thing.
Okay.
Personal service
Okay.
was the
Because when you're applying for these things, you have to tick specific boxes.
and there wasn't like a
yeah.
specific box for what I wanted to do. The closest one was like health, wellness, personal services. I called her on the phone. I laid out the full details of like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And she's like, check that box, your personal service. And I was like, perfect. Weeks went by. I'd put a deposit down for equipment with this one company. Then they came back and they said, I talked to a couple different people and we changed their mind. Your swimming pool, the tubs need to have this, this, and this. And then I was like, they don't have those 3 things. I called the manufacturer. I said, can you put these 3 things on there? And they were like, no, I don't think so. So I was like, I need my deposit back. This is like $100,000 worth of equipment. I put down like 50%. I was like, I need this money back. Like, I got to find somebody that's willing to do this. So that was the first major hurdle, having to get lawyers involved to try to get deposit back. Their website says you cancel within 30 days, you get your full deposit back, everything. And then because of the nature of my order, I was their largest order to date, obviously. And they were like, we're not giving you deposit back. And I'm like, your policy says right here, I'm canceling within 2 weeks. I was like, there's no way you guys have started production. Like, you told me it was going to be a lead time of like 90 days.
Yeah.
So I'm canceling within 2 weeks. Like, your policy says 30 days, full money back guarantee. Long story short, they changed their policy since then. We got a partial amount of the deposit back, not the full amount.
Seriously, bro.
That put me already like I'm starting 10 steps back already at that point.
This is before we even get anything going.
Yeah, like not even everybody knows about that aspect of what happened.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, mindset again. Continue. Sorry.
So get partial back. I realized like when you ask for a loan, you say like, this is how much this is going to cost. This is how much construction is going to cost. This is how much that I want. And I was like pretty darn good with the calculations.
Yeah.
So I left a lot of room for things to go wrong, but I didn't leave like that much fucking room of like things to start going wrong off
immediately.
the rip, right off the jump. So found another company. I was very grateful to find these guys out in Toronto called Culture. They were the largest one in Canada. And I didn't really know about them at the time because they only specialize in like portable models, like inflatable ones for your house.
Are those the ones that you had in the gym
initially? Yeah,
okay.
I had a couple of those because I was using them in my house for a while before I even got close to opening. And then they said, "Oh, we have a commercial model. We've been selling them across Canada. Like we're just about to release it to the public." And I was like, "Oh, awesome, perfect timing." And I said, "This is the regulations that I'm having to follow. Are you guys like certified?" They're like, yeah, they're commercially certified things. And I said, okay, these are the boxes I need them to check off. They said, yeah, we have those 3 boxes. I placed the order with them. And then they did the same thing. They came back and they were like, actually, it needs to have more swimming pool grade components in there.
Wait, so the government, they said, wait, needs this. You got this. And they said, no. Wait, actually.
They said it needs to have a skimmer was one of the things and just a bunch of different like technical components, and I was like, this has it has a chlorine feeder, it has everything that you asked for. Then they said it's not NSF 50 is swimming pool grade spec, equipment, and I'm like, NSF 50 components are huge for swimming pools, hundreds of thousands of liters. This tub is 300 liters. Like, how am I gonna make it work? And they literally just said, make it work, or else, you have to change the water after every person. And I was like, well, I can't. So that was very frustrating because the guys at Culture said, like, they were like, this is what we have. This is what they asked for. We've been selling them all across Canada and North America and had no issues, but Alberta is the only province that were just a pain in the ass. Yeah, just fucking unreasonable to deal with. So they made us work with an engineer to manufacture a way that we could make this cat controller fit on the side of this tub. It's basically just an automated chemical dosing thing. It's overkill for what the tub is.
Yeah.
The cost of that cat controller costs the same as the tub, basically, for them to make it. So not anything I could have put in my plan, like initially, my business plan. And I had already gotten the loan and I had already had the money. So I was like, how am I going to make this amount of money work with this amount of things that they're asking me to do? So just a bunch of MacGyvering on the fly. And like, we got to make this work. We got to make this work. I cannot, I'm in like too deep right now. There's no way I'm going to go back because it's doable. I can see that it's possible. And I can see that it's just going to be a nightmare for me. But I'm willing to do it because I can tell that it's got to be done. So we made it work. Had to get extra money from other places to make it work. And I had a motorcycle and I had a car that I enjoyed driving. And I was like, you know what? This is not as important as this. And kind of just poured everything into making this happen. And I just kept getting halted. I kept getting delayed and I kept getting no's and I kept getting like, there's no way that's going to work. And this is way too big of a piece to fit on this little tub. Like all the engineers were looking at me like, you're fucking crazy. And then I found one engineer. He's like, I'm crazy too. Like we'll make it happen. So they made it happen, got the approval on paper, gave us a certification to say that these are the first approved tubs in Alberta to be used for this purpose. So that's where that first in Alberta comes from.
And so this is you starting in February before you even get your tubs into what was it, a year? What was
like I placed the order and then they had them in their warehouse when they said like we got to do these modifications to the tubs here. And I said I don't even know. It took I can't even remember the timeline anymore
because the tubs only came in
in November.
But
the tubs coming in November, and then they still didn't approve me until February.
See, that's the crazy part. So you finally get the tubs in, and you think it's gonna, because this has been talk about a roller coaster. If we keep them coming in, I'd be like, Adam, how's everything? Yeah, man, we're so close. We're almost here.
One more week, 2 more weeks.
1 more week, 2 more weeks, and it's always and they're just like, no, they went back on this, and then we have to go. So it is like it has been. It's been hard.
It's been tough, and they would show up, and they'd be like, oh, that's what this looks like, and they were seeing it for the first time. They've never inspected this before. So they saw it in action for the first time, and then they were like, well, I never thought about this because I never saw this before. So then I would be like, well, okay, let's figure that out. And then we would do that. And then they would come back and they were like, well, actually, what about this thing? Because we never thought about this. And I was like, you guys, like, you need to say, I'm trying to open a business. What do I need to do? Like, this is what you need to do.
Paying rent every month.
Yeah.
And I think they told me, like, Vanessa said that there was like 12 people or something that came on one of your inspection days.
Oh my God, dude, it was wild. The first pre-inspection day, there was like the city inspection, the pool inspector, the health inspector, the building code, electrical, fire, literally a group of like 10, 12 people. Oh my God. Yeah. Just so I can sit in cold water. Like, fuck, man. It was, oh my God, it was crazy. They're semicircled around me, just grilling me. And I'm like, you guys realize my construction's been done. You're telling me about the building code and the electrical code, like, you got to tell me about that when I'm telling you this is what I want to do. My business plan never changed from then to now. The communication internally is what fucking sucks.
Because they've had to do more electrical work. They had to put in new breakers and stuff like that. Like which they should have known that they had to do months ago.
Yeah.
You have to wait longer for them to do it, even though they could have had it done.
The permits, I had to get more permits and apply for electrical permits and apply for building permits after I had already done.
All cost money.
And I did them already during our construction, and they're like, well, we got to do another one. I got to do this. And then the electrical guy would show up and say, like, this has to be changed. You need to have the switch inaccessible for people. And I'm like, who's going to be reaching over the back, like, to unplug the tub to charge their phone? I don't know. It was just a nightmare to deal with. But somebody's got to do the first one. And now that I did the first one, I know for a fact the next person that opens something similar in Alberta is going to have it way easier than me.
Yeah.
And they're going to get the handbook that I helped write.
Literally.
So that's what's frustrating. It's like when you say, I want to start a business, I want to contribute to this economy in my city.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to do. It's going to help other people. The government should say, like, oh, this is what you want to do. This is how you need to do it.
Yes.
So that's what I didn't get. And that's what just fucking screwed it.
Not only it's not only that you didn't get the support, it seemed the opposite is they made it basically almost as difficult as possible
100%.
for a fucking 25-year-old a motivated person who's trying to do something good, just as hard as fucking possible.
It's literally borderline impossible. Yeah.
Like your sister even talked about maybe like suing the government.
She wanted me to sue the government. That sentence alone.
At least, I mean, I know.
Like, I'm going to sue the government. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Like, they don't have their whole policy in place to be red tape protected. Like, they can hit you with everything that they do is for the health and safety of other people.
Yeah.
So everything they do is rooted in that. So they're doing this because it's for the health and safety of people. So I can't be like, well, I'm going to fucking sue you for having people's good intentions. But like, in the end of the day, like, they don't have most people's good intentions. They just follow what's on the book, what's black and white. They don't know anything about. I'm like, well, I'm the one that's here doing these things. It's a 300-liter tub. You know how much more care and attention you have on 300 liters versus the YMCA that gets filled up once a year and gets pissed in and blood in and Band-Aids and shit, and they don't change the water. They just dump chlorine in it and they dump all these sanitizers in it and they just keep it running. They keep it filtered. And people swim in that thing all year round. And it's disgusting. And now that I think about this, now that I'm in the pool industry, I know that I'm like swimming pools and hot tubs, they're disgusting because my pool is 300 liters and it's so small that I have it like dialed into. I know exactly what's in that water.
Yeah.
And somebody comes out of that water and they maybe didn't shower, so I could tell immediately. People go swim in the pool. They come straight from their workout. They jump right in the pool full of sweat. That's just like how it is there. So their level of like standards for everybody.
Fucking strange, right?
It's very strange. It's very strange. I told them, I'm willing to do more work on the pool side to not have this automated chemical thing on it. I'm willing to manually monitor the chemicals throughout the whole day. I'll manually check them, I'll manually test them, and I'll manually add them. And they're like, no, just get this automated system. It's designed to work. And I'm like, it's not designed to work on this tub. But they made me put it on the tub. And now that we've been up and running, they don't work like seamlessly. It works enough where you can like get certain things, aspects of it done, but I'm still doing a lot of manual testing and just to be double sure about everything. I don't want to just fully trust an automated system that's the first of its kind. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But in the future, they're going to come up with a cold tub with NSF 50 grade specs on it that are brand new NSF 50 components that never existed before, just for cold water. Because most of the components that they have nowadays,
hot tubs and shit, right?
Yeah, they're for hot tubs or they're for swimming pool, which doesn't run cold water, and cold water running through a system is less, just a different type of stress on the system.
Yeah,
having super cold water.
Yeah. So different installations.
The way that the chemicals react in cold water is completely different.
Of course.
So they're saying like, oh, you have to keep your alkalinity at a certain level, and then I'm like, look it up how well it is to maintain alkalinity in 5 degrees versus 30 degrees. Like, it's chemist's nightmare. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So they're telling me to follow it. I'm following it. I'm doing everything by their book, just well enough to get people to actually just use it. So that's all that I cared about, and that's what kept me going. And people coming and using it and telling me how much they like it. That's the main thing that I'm like, it was all kind of worth it at the end of the day. But we'll find out. Time will tell.
I mean, I've been wanting to get you. I wanted to hear the story for a while, but I knew we couldn't do the story until we got to the happy ending because it finally fucking worked.
Yeah,
you did all the goddamn thing.
Yeah,
you're having people. I'm seeing you're getting busier like every week.
Yeah,
and grand opening tomorrow. So or next week.
Yep. Super excited.
So yeah, tell me. Like after everything, is it a little surreal? Like,
it hasn't really hit me yet in terms of like the fact that I'm open, because it's like, so many people were asking me, like, when are you going to open? When are you going to open, for months and months and months? And then I just started just kind of like shutting myself away. And I was like, I'm not going to continuously, like, I like to be a man of my word. I like to say, and when the government is working with me and they say like, yeah, they're going to be good by this day, and then I'm passing that message along to everybody. And then they come back and say like, oh, actually 2 more weeks. And then I have to pass that message along. And I'm like, I just look like I was not knowing what I was doing. And that's where I was like,
No, I really don't think it ever
Yeah.
came across that way. I think everyone, at least at Evolve, knows how hard you've been working and know that you've been dicked around a lot.
Well,
And
I'm too open, and I've been told this multiple times. I'm too honest to a fault sometimes, and people have told me, "Why did you even tell them the full extent of what you were trying to do?" Because places have existed. I'm not saying I'm the first place to exist. I'm just the first one to do it
legal.
legally. Like, yeah, to do it like actually on a regulated basis, where I'm sending water samples in every week. And I'm
every
not,
week you still got
every week, yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, for every
tub.
just
for bacteria, like YMCA has to do that too.
Okay,
They just take one little sample for the whole pool.
Yeah. You got how many subs?
I got 8.
8 subs.
Yeah, so 8 pools. I own fully 8 full swimming pools.
Fuck it in.
Yeah. But no, I was told many times that I just am too open and I share too many things with people. Even afterwards, I was in the middle of this, and other companies within Calgary were calling me, like asking to buy the blueprints of the tubs that I had. And I just wasn't saying yes or wasn't saying no, because I was like, you know what, I don't want to put any energy into that. Like, I need to just make sure that my thing is good. I don't want to sell you something that I don't even know, I'm going to be happy with. So people were just coming and saying,
asking me all these questions, and I'm super quick to answer them, and I don't really hesitate on what's on my mind. I just kind of say it as I see it and as I think
best
it.
things about you.
I appreciate that. But that's what put me into that position. But in the long run,
But I think in the long run, it's going to pay it off, man.
So I think so too.
You imagine trying to cut some corner, and then all of a sudden something goes wrong, and then you have to shut. Like,
if somebody gets sick or something.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. There's the places that have been doing it. Like if you're a gym and you apply for a business license as a gym, they come and inspect your gym, and they say you're good to go. Open up a gym, and then you're the owner of that gym. You're like, I'm gonna buy a cold tub so I can give my gym clients access to cold. They don't even know that you did that.
Yeah.
They're not going to come back and be like, "Oh, you're a pool now. You're not a gym, you're a pool." So that's where people were like, "Well, you could have just like bought the tub and just done it, and then they came to you, and then you could have been like, "Well, I didn't know." And I hate doing that because
it's just so dishonest, right?
It's not. Yeah, even if it's like not even if I'm being honest, I just don't. I don't know. I like to cross even because it's my thing and I'm investing my time and my money into it. I want to do more due diligence than other people because I don't want to get fucked around at the end of the line. I'd rather be fucked around at the beginning before I start, and then I'm just left alone to do my thing. So that's hopefully what's going to happen.
I think that's hopefully where we're at.
That's what I'm aiming for. Yeah.
So always going to ask everyone about marketing because I think it's a fascinating topic. So
I think so too.
Tell me a little bit about what it's been like in terms of
marketing's been awesome because people are kind of doing it all themselves. I haven't really had to do a lot of marketing. The word of mouth thing has been
word of mouth has been like what's been your main kind of approach?
I think the delay has been a big thing.
Talk about building tension.
The fact that people were so eager to try this for so long, and I was just like holding them off for so long, it just created a huge bottleneck effect. So by the time my doors opened, the first day we were like busy. Yeah, so that was a good in itself, and just me being there and talking to people and working out in the same gym, people get to see who I am and they get to know why I'm there, and that's a big thing too. So I'm a big person-to-person marketer, I guess you could say. Because I find like if I'm gonna go support someone's business, I want to know who I'm supporting, not just what I'm supporting.
Well said.
So I like that every person that I have signed up with me, like I'm connected with on some level, even if it's just like casual, like first name basis. I'm still knowing of who this person is, and they still tell me how they feel every time that they come out of the ice, and I'm just like, that's awesome. Like I've never seem to have a bad day when you come by here. So I like that aspect of it instead of just like letting it run and letting people go self-serve and just getting their money and letting them use it. I just want to actually like tell people like, why are you hesitant to try it? And then they say this, and so
that's really cool.
The big aspect of that is just like getting to talk to people, and then they go and do it, and then they post a little story, and then they're friends. So I'm kind of just letting them do it for me in a way. But
that's
my own marketing, like my sister, she's a big part of.
Your website looks beautiful.
Yeah, she made the website. She's done all of our branding and brand recognition. So I love the logo. The logo is like if not the greatest thing that has came about me partnering with her. Super happy with the logo, and the logo I wanted it to be simple and recognizable and not like something crazy. So
it is.
Yeah.
Make sure that. Oh yeah. You get little.
Yeah. This is a sample hoodie, not the official one.
I was
but
gonna ask you where you bought that hoodie.
yeah, it's our hoodie. Yeah. Oh, it's super. It's super soft on the inside.
Comfy, man.
Yeah.
We're
It's
gonna talk
super
afterwards.
fuzzy, super warm.
When they're in stock, let me know.
I will. I don't know if I'm gonna even order them anymore because they costed me like $90 each.
Oh,
Yeah, they costed me so much money, and the only way to do it is if I take like a deposit or something to order another batch. But the ones that I did order, I was like, I can only order as many as I can afford, and I got like a handful, and they all sold out. And I was like, damn, like I wish I had overhead because I could just buy a bunch of these hoodies. But all the money that I thought I was gonna have operating costs got spent paying rent before I opened. So that's where I'm like, I need people to market for me. I need like, you know what I mean? I have to rely on, I have to kind of do things in a different way going forward. But that's the benefit of growing up the way that I did, as I was learned to be very resourceful and learn how to make things work. And resilience is a big one. And just never giving up and never really getting discouraged because things aren't going your way. Because that's the big thing. Like I could have just been
so many times.
Oh, dude, I would have fucking jumped off a bridge if I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, this is insane. And I'm in so much debt for what? Like, why am I doing this?
For like a year and a bit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You must have had those sleepless. I mean, I
could have been paying for like 3 houses.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I could have had a whole, like rental income generating.
About like a fourplex.
Yeah,
and shit,
oh my god, I could have done so many other things with that money that would have made me money immediately. But I never had this idea to make money. That was like the number one thing. I didn't have this idea, and I was like, this is going to make me money. I was like, this is going to help people help themselves.
So you focus on value instead of, you're focused on creating value instead of trying to extract something.
I guess so, yeah.
And the great ideas make money on their own.
That's the thing too. Like, if I'm willing to go pay for it, I'm a pretty cheap guy. Like, I'll do it. That's how I look at it. Like, if I'm gonna do it, like, you guys should be fucking doing this too. Yeah. Like, I'm not willing to go to the Nordic spa every month, but I'm willing to do this, like, just to get the most out of it. So that's how I like to look at things. Yeah.
I've been saying my sales approach is the drug dealer approach, where drug dealers don't sell, they just offer.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to do the same thing. Where I don't sell much.
First one's free.
Just offer. Well, first 3 are free. But.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's it. Just get them hooked and
you're
good to go.
It's a good. I did a lot of sales too. Like, I've had a very wide background of, like, I don't even want to call them careers, just jobs.
Jobs, yeah.
I've done like different industries, whether it's like food industry, aviation, or automotive, or retail. A lot of them were like initially sales ones, but I was very adamant about not working at my parents' salon as much as I could, because like my sisters are there, my parents are there. We're all going to work. We all go home. We're all going to work. I was like, we're not on a fucking TV show. Like,
some separation between church and state.
I see that you guys, when you come home, like, you guys are all on your own thing. Like, I wanted to keep that separation. I went and worked there. Don't get me wrong. I have worked there all the time. I used to work at the front desk there. So I got like a lot of good customer service skills when I was like really young, and getting to know my dad's clients that knew me when I was like this big, and then they get to see me grow up. So very cool. That whole industry, like, it gave me a lot of really good skills. And
did that also help just with that longevity, just being able to think of this as a long-term investment?
100%, yeah.
You know,
totally.
And was that part of it as well? Like, I know this is tough. You hit all these landmarks, these roadblocks, but fuck, I'm 25. I got time to take these hits now, and I can just. Was that kind of part of the mentality?
Totally. Any motivational speaker, anybody that you see, like, the main thing that they say is like, oh, you have time. Even if you're like 50, 60 years old, you have time to make mistakes. And like, I realized that I had so much time because of all the experience that I had in such a short amount of time. And I was like, well, it's been 7 years since I got my first job, and I've worked at all these other places. Look
what I've done.
Yeah, I've only been fired from one place for a stupid reason. But every other place I just left because I kind of experienced all that I experienced there, and I was like, this is not what I wanted to do. When I was working at the airport, I was like a charter specialist for people going like up north for shift work.
Oh shit!
So we were doing like their flights and stuff.
Like the small Cessnas and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like we had some like 737s and like big ones, but I was just doing like all of like the onboarding and like the check-ins and like getting them on, getting them off, and it was like the same routine. But you're waking up at like 3 a.m. and you show up at work at 4 a.m. and then you're off work at like 10 or 12 p.m. or
Yeah,
You're just, it's a weird thing. So I was like, this is a cool environment. This is good money. I'm making really, really good money. I'm meeting really, really cool people, and I get flight benefits. And I was like, I can see why people do this as a career, but not for me. And then I did the next thing. And then I was like, oh, this is cool. I can see why people do this as a career, but not for me. So I went and just kept doing these things. And I think a big part of it was seeing that my parents never really worked under other people. And they just kind of had that own, it didn't look like glamorous, but like they made it look like the opposite sometimes. Like I was like, why would you want to own your own business? Like they're miserable all the time. And like all these
stress,
they're so stressed. And why would anybody want to do this? But then you just see the other side of it.
What are the options?
Like it's just the opportunity that you can provide for yourself. And when you have like certain standards and you go work somewhere else and then you try to improve that place, but they are saying no, like that's outside your job description. Like don't worry about what we do for that. And that's a lot of pushback that I had was like working under like just management, and because I had a lot of like higher responsibility roles in some of these other jobs, and it didn't feel like enough. Like I wanted to do more to like improve the system and like change the way that we do things to just like make it streamlined and everybody. And they're just like, it's been around for longer than you've been around. Like don't worry.
Fuck alone.
Yeah. No. So that's when I was like, okay, peace out. Come and go somewhere else.
I think that's so fascinating, and I think that hopefully people listening to this can pick up on the fact that it's like more than anything, it's just attitude that you really need to be able to do these things, right? Like it's not any. When you take a look at what it took for you to do what you did, it was just it was that maybe a little bit of a good example, a little bit of mental fortitude, and
a little bit of everything, but a lot of it comes from within. 100%, yeah.
But then we get to, I mean, when I left restaurants, like when I was working, I've worked restaurants for my whole life. I'm a good server. I'm a good bartender.
Yeah.
But when I was doing those jobs, you get paid for the job. You get paid to be for the position of bartender.
Yeah.
And now you get paid to be Adam. Like you're making money because of.
I just got goosebumps. Wow, that's a good way to put it. That's very good.
I think the big difference is that I gotta wake up every day, and you gotta wake up every day, and you just gotta be Adam all day. And these other jobs, you gotta come in, and you had to be this other person for a while, and we just get all of us. We gotta wake up, and we just gotta be us all fucking day. I think that's amazing, and I think
that's a really good point. That's beautiful.
Think about that a little bit more when they're like, sure, it's hard starting your own thing, and maybe don't go buy this fucking because you took off a huge fucking chunk when you went for it. You could have started with just a couple of tubs. That's what I'm saying. You could have started with a couple of tubs.
Yeah.
You'd be like, he's gonna hit this whole hallway. You're gonna just half the hallway.
That's what everybody was saying. But they would tell me in a way, and I would just like, oh, that's fine. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And that is a lot of delusion too. You have to be kind of delusional and be like, no, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. And somebody's looking at you like, this guy is financially ruining his fucking life. And I'm like, no, this is gonna be fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good. That's a really good way to put it, though.
I would know, but also sometimes a little arrogance or a little just not knowing sometimes can be helpful. Because if I didn't, what I didn't know, I didn't know definitely helped a little bit.
Yeah.
Getting into
Yeah.
Having a good support network is always important. You can never say
there's just no way. If it wasn't for my wife, it wasn't for people like Jimmy. Like there's no fucking way.
Yeah, my family is the core of like most of my values and beliefs, and that's even though I'm not like always around as much, especially lately because they have kids and everybody's busy with their own thing. Like I'm still owe everything that I have to them, and whether they did everything that I have or not or whatever, I'm always just going to put it because they created who I am and who gave birth to me. I have
small details.
I have like parts of all of them inside.
Yeah,
that's a lot of kind of just going back to like the evolutionary aspect of it,
the
anthropology aspect of it. Like we have connections tied so deep in the past of people that we don't even know that are direct like descendants of, and that's just that aspect that you don't know what they were like, you don't know what they were doing, you don't know how they approached the world or what they wanted to contribute. Or even if anything, you don't know anything about them. They don't know anything about you. But like, regardless, they're linked to you. Like you have part of their DNA inside of you, and just kept getting passed down. And those are, I don't know, all things that I keep at the front of my mind. I'm like, I'm doing this not just for me, but I'm doing this for like everybody that came before me, and everybody that's going to come after me. So,
well, dude, you took the words out of my mouth. Like, I'm getting goosebumps because that's what I was about to say. Like, I'm pretty sure that your parents are going to be pretty proud of you, considering like you've taken all the good that they've done and now you're just building something to make other people's lives better.
Well, they were even just proud of me for having the idea. whether I put it into action or not.
But the follow through, man.
The follow through is its own thing, but just even having the idea and, like I said before, like taking the first step is huge in itself. Like that is something that most people even never get to experience for themselves.
And I think we have to be better as a society to support these people. As you say, like totally. We need to get better at that. I think.
Yeah, it's the systems that are in place now just are made for the existing things to thrive and the new things to have a really hard time to get going. Even if you're like a small restaurant or something and you just get opened up, like you're not going to be as well suited in a position to be successful because you have to work like 10 times harder than the people that already exist.
That's it.
You know what I mean? It goes with anything. You could get lucky. You could open and be like a boutique cookie place. People spend $40 for 5 cookies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Donuts.
Yeah, but I don't know. Everybody has their own lane. Just about finding the comfort in yours and the people that you can immediately affect. That's like the biggest thing for me. Like the Northwest community, if I can get however many people in that community to be practicing what I was doing in my backyard, I'm winning. I've succeeded.
Yeah,
like that. Doing it for my own versus having people that I can share it with. That in itself is like all the reward in the world that I need.
I know when I see Coral, this is a friend of mine who I was excited to get her to come train with me, and I've known her for a little bit, and I've always thought I think she really liked this, and then finally she got a car and she started training with us, and she was absolutely loved it. And that's it. Like I feel like I've won just based on
totally right.
Financially,
you can change one person's life, and you're like, I changed my life with the thing that I'm doing.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
Exactly.
That's it. I mean, financially, we still have to make sure the business is profitable.
Of course. Try my best.
Yes. My love. It will be profitable, but that is it. Really, in the end, we are here just to make that impact, right? And it's kind of crazy that we really get to do that. I also hope you know that you're just. I don't think there's a lot of great role models out there these days. Hopefully, we maybe get a little better, but I hope you realize that you're being a really good role model for people just in your generation, right? It's like here's someone who doesn't have crazy credentials, that didn't go to business school, whatever, and just fucking sat down, had a good idea, worked it through, and here's where we are. So thanks for doing what you did, man.
Of course, man. I appreciate you too.
Fantastic, man. Any last closing thoughts? And so just if people want to reach out and find you, just give some details, please. Instagram, website.
Our Instagram is reset.hydrotherapy. Website is www.resethydrotherapy.com. Our business line is 403-888-7189. You can call me at any time. And
grand opening next week.
Grand opening is next week, March 15th.
Yeah, you have some.
There's going to be a big giveaway happening. He's also donated something to the giveaway, some 5 free classes. Pretty much almost every practitioner in the space has donated something. So that's another really good reason why I'm happy to be there. And the fact that they were all kind of with me through the delay, so in a way, because I was. Still
we love them with you, man. Yeah, we all hurt.
And then when I'm like, "Yo, I'm about to open. Can you donate something?" And everybody was like, "I'll give you whatever you want, like just here." So there's a $1,500 value giveaway thing for anybody that signs up. We're gonna have some popsicles and ice pops. I don't know whatever they're called.
Yeah.
We're gonna anything that we can do for. I'm gonna be having
maybe some warm things as well.
It's a couple warm things too, but I don't know. I'm not good at like planning stuff, so I just kind of like tell everybody. I tell as many people as I can, like just come show up.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. It'll be a good time though. But yeah, we're here in Northwest, Royal Oak. Lovely neighbors. Whoever's watching this,
mention that you watch this, and we'll hook it up.
Adam, again, man.
Hey, I appreciate you.